Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tony here from LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com. Welcome to the show today, and I have a dirty little secret. Does anybody want to know my dirty little secret? Hey, guys. Okay, thank you for getting on. Before we get started tonight, if you could just type in the chat quickly if you hear me, if you see me, and if everything is all good. I just want to make sure. What's up, Anthony Cheney, Kirk, Garland, Edwin, Barn Shop? What's up, Barn Shop? Maynard. I just want to make sure everybody hears me. Okay, good. Everybody's saying all good. Awesome. Great. Okay, so before we get started, if everybody can type in the chat really quickly, if where you're coming in from and how many times you've been on, super quickly. Let's just get this out of the way. Type in the chat. Let's get some participation going. Let's get the blood flow going in your fingers there. Type in where you're from, how many times you've been with us. And we will get into some Q&A today. And if you want, I can go to my shop. If not, I'm in the house right now. And I'll tell you my dirty little secret. What's up, Tony? Destin, Florida, Tennessee, the Real Deal Pro, Roger Kingston, Las Vegas, just got my first gun, Detroit once, Chicago, C. Braxton, Anthony Cheney, Anthony King, Roanoke, Garland, Little Rock, third time, Bob from Hootso, California, Tennessee, first timer, Barn Shop. Awesome to see you on here. Maynard, it was great talking to you a few weeks ago. Dallas, Texas, awesome. Trinidad, Weatherford, Texas, more than a dozen times. Claude, what's going on, Claude? Mako Shark, Wisconsin, USA. Hokey Dokey, Paint My Ass 14. Wilkinson, Gene Phillip, Georgia. Jordan Cobb from New York, been here a while. Eric, can you apply plastic dip over primer? You can, but you might have a problem peeling it off. Raymond, Kansas. Taryn, first time live in the chat. Abram, first time Arizona. First time Las Vegas. Max. All right, guys. Now, before we get started, hit the like button. Give me a quick like button. Hit the like. This way we can get started. Edwin, Legoland, Florida, first time. Father's Day gift. Awesome. Okay. How many new VIPs in the house or old VIP? So if you're a new VIP, put new VIP. Old VIP, put old VIP. And I just want to say my dirty little secret was I just got up from a nap. So if I look like I just got up, it's true. I just got up, tired. I was up super early doing some stuff around the house, and I had to take a nap, an hour nap before I jumped on because I was just freaking dead. So I'm like, let me take a quick nap. Old VIP, new VIP, new Edwin. It's the first time, new VIP. Congratulations, all new VIP people on. Great to see you here today. I'm super excited to be on with you today, tonight, and I can't wait to answer your questions. If you guys want, later on, I can go to the shop, show you what's going on. My dirty little secret wasn't that dirty. It was just a little nap. First time, Covington, Louisiana, new VIP from Boston. Does acetone dry too fast in hot weather? Yeah, it does. And what are you using acetone for? All right, guys, I want to say thanks for getting on tonight. And let's start with the Q&A, and don't make the questions too long. And bear with me because we have a lot of people on tonight. And if the questions are too long, it might take me longer to go through them. Plus, there's a lot of people on tonight, a lot of interaction going to go on tonight. And we just got on. So as the minutes go by, more and more people are going to come on. It's the natural progression. So let's go ahead. Go to the shop. Like to see what's going on. All right, I'll do that a little later. I'm comfortable right now in the house on the couch, and wanted to do some quick Q&A for everybody here. Can you paint a car without having a garage? Absolutely. Yes, you can. And in VIP, I cover that inside of the 24-hour El Cheapo paint job. So there's a paint job that I did under a tent outside, right, with a single stage enamel, and you could do that, all right? Just make sure that it's not a super windy day, but yeah, you can do it, all right? You might have a little dust here and there or a bug fly in it, but I've done many paint jobs outside, you know, painting cars for friends at friends' houses back in the day, and just doing it outside, coming out really good, okay? It helps to do it under a covered carport or under a tent. So if you have some sort of cover or some sort of shelter inside of an open garage, you don't have to have a garage door, okay? An open garage or a carport, it'll be fine, all right? How do I spray a chrome bumper? So if you have a chrome bumper, I would scuff it good with 80 grit, okay, with a DA, and then go to a 150 grit, okay, and then 2K primer filler it. After you 2K primer filler it, you'll have a nice foundation to basically block it out with 400 grit, and then you'll be ready for a sealer or basic base coat, clear coat right on top of that. Okay, so you could put a sealer on it if you have the funds and if you want to go the extra step. It's not recommended. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not recommended, but it's not needed to get a professional paint job. All right, so you could just, if you have a good 2K primer filler, you could spray that right over 150 grit scratched chrome bumper. Okay, 400 grit that out and put base coat, clear coat right on top of that. You'll be fine. All right. How to deal with rust spots. The rust spots, I have a section in the VIP course. I show you how to deal with rust spots. Basically, you want to grind it down. All right. You want to grind down your rust spot. You want to treat it with 50-50 vinegar water. Okay. You could use a vinegar, water, treat it. It'll kill the rust. If you want, you could cut it out and patch a new piece of metal, or you could spot weld the metal, right, overlap it. Okay, so you basically, you have a grinded, it's hard to show you right like this because I can't really show you a rusted spot like right now, but we have all of that in step-by-step videos in the VIP course. Can I leave my car in epoxy for years in a garage while I continue to work on it? Yes, you could do that. As long as it's covered, as long as the metal is covered, you're fine. Okay, but before you paint it, I would make sure you have a fresh coat of primer sealer on it, you know, or a fresh coat of primer that's prepped and sanded and ready for paint. Okay, so just make sure before you paint it, it's ready for paint. Not that you're painting directly over 1 year old or 2 year old epoxy primer that's really not prepped correctly, right? Not sanded. All right, so if it's exposed in the air, sitting around for 2 years, you're gonna wanna make sure you re-sand it, get it ready. So you cut down through new primer and that you're not down to metal. If you're down to metal in some areas, you're gonna wanna recoat it. You guys got it? Barn Shop. I bought 2 LED flue style lights today. Will they distort any of my paint image or anything? Old timer. No, You should be fine. I mean, you're not going to distort the color on the car. It may look different than it looks in sunlight, right? Paint shows up differently. The color looks different under sunlight, under halogen lights, under fluorescent lights, or under LED lights. The color is going to look different, right? Because that's what the light is projecting, that you're getting a different reflection off your paints. So the true color is, if you got to get a close to sunlight light bulb, like a halogen light bulb. Okay, that's like true sunlight color. If you get LEDs, sometimes they have the true light color LEDs. But a lot of spray booths have basic fluorescent bulbs. Okay, so the color that you see on the paint chart and outside are going to look a little bit different, but the true color is really, when you go outside, you look in the sun, that's the true color, right? So hopefully that answers your question. Edwin. Where's Edwin? I just saw Edwin. Tony, I painted my second car about 2 weeks ago, single stage. I waited a week to wet sand and buff, and it kind of changed the color of the sparkles the paint had. How can I fix it? Well, I don't get what you mean. What do you mean change the color, or left it a little dull, not as glossy or not as bright as it should be? Get back to me on that, because I'm thinking you probably didn't buff it out enough to where you're not getting the gloss that it had. So you're going to basically have to want to take your time a little bit more, okay, get a foam pad and buff it out with a foam pad gently and bring back the gloss, okay? What do you think about the Devil Bisque Pro Light spray gun? I don't know. I've never tried it. How much does it sell for? What kind of gun is it? How much does it sell for? What's your budget? Because if you're looking for a good starter or advanced, like a good spray gun, I really recommend checking out the Atom spray guns that are sold on Zula, and I'll give you a link to that here. These Atom spray guns are awesome. They're actually still on pre-order. We get them and ship them in about first week of July. So I'll send you a link to that right here. If you're looking for a really good spray gun where you're not going to spend $1,000, but you're going to be getting quality and performance as if you're spending $1,000 on a German-made Sada or a Iwata, a Japanese-made. Okay. How can you add pearl to a Rust-Oleum paint job? Okay, basically, you're going to want to scuff down that paint job with around 1,000 grit. Okay, and then you're going to want to add clear coat with pearl in it. And that's it. Add some automotive clear coat with pearl in it, right over it. Or you can use a intercoat base coat, which is a clear base coat. Okay, mix up your pearl in that, and then spray that, and then you're going to have to spray clear on top of that. Okay, so it's like basically a 3-stage paint job. How do you feel about SEM trim paint? I use it all the time. It's good for quickies. It doesn't last for years and years. It'll last a year or two, depending on how much sun is beating on it. But I've painted many bumper covers and bumpers and touch-ups on customer cars back in the day. I haven't done it recently, but SEM trim paint, it works. And it's good for short-term results, 1 to 2 years, and not crazy in the sun. Anthony's filler super hard to sand after it hardened up. Why? I don't know, Anthony. Really weird question. All the body work I've done in my life, I've never had a problem with that. Maybe the DA you're using is not cutting it properly. Are you using what grit are you using? Using 80 grit to sand it down with? Okay, you make sure you use an 80 grit on a block. I've had the hardest fillers, the hardest bondos, and 80 grit cuts it down. You need to shape it with 80 grit. Okay, you need to sand it. Martin from Brooklyn, New York. How's the weather there? The weather here in Dallas is not too bad. About 80, 88 degrees today. How can you add Pearl? I said that. Okay, yo, I'm going to call the police on you, Marco. Okay. I have no water in my I have no water in my airlines. Why do I get paint blisters? Eugene, it might be because of chemical reactions, not because of water. All right, it might be because of an unclean surface. Okay, that's why. There are many reasons. You can get a bunch of different reasons for, chemical reactions or blisters or biting, separation on your panels. Eugene, are you a VIP member? I cover those in VIP lessons as well. Jamie, all right, so quick feedback, guys. How are you liking this? You guys liking this? Quick thumbs up, hit the like button. Let me know in the chat if you're getting any any golden nuggets and knowledge from this. You guys liking this so far? Give me a thumbs up if you're liking it. Give me some interaction here. Let me know. I just want to know how I'm doing, how you're liking it so far. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so custom. All right, so hold on. Okay, on a trunk lip, pinhole rust after sanding. How do you treat the rust inside? Because I can't get to it to treat it. On a trunk lid, lip, pinhole rust after sanding. Pinhole rust after sanding. How do you treat it? Rust inside because I can't get to treat it. I don't get that question, Jamie, exactly. I don't get it. If you can't get to the rust, how do you treat it? Well, if you can't get to the back, you can't get to the back. There's nothing you could do, right? Treat the outside, cover it from the front, prime it, body fill over it, spot weld over it, patch it, whatever you're doing on top of it, and just paint it from the front. If you could get to the back, I would recommend spraying a little bit of rubberized undercoat. If you're doing like a fender well or a rocker panel, try to get back there and hit it with a spray can of rubberized undercoat. It'll seal it up for you, okay? Because the moisture is what you want to stop. All right? Primed car, let dry, 24 hours, 400 grit, clogging, 320. What grit to initial sand with? What are you sanding? Jamie, not Anthony Cheney. Primed car, let dry for 24 hours, 400 grit, clogging, 320. What primer are you? What are you sanding? Are you sanding a 2K primer, epoxy primer, polyester, filler, putty? What are you sanding? And you should always also wet sand. If you're having a problem, your papers are getting clogged like crazy, wet sand it. I like wet sanding because it saves your paper from clogging in the beginning. Okay, yeah, it's going to clog later down the line, but not really. Wet sanding is really good. I like wet sanding. Okay, dry sanding, you're going to go through a lot more paper. Do you know anything about waterborne paint? I do. I don't paint with it much. I'm going to be honest with you right now. It's the same exact painting process. It takes a little longer to dry, so that's why they recommend having little dryers near your painting area when you're painting. So you just got to make sure that it's dry before you clear coat over it. I'll be touching base more on that as we progress, but right now, 90% of body shops and 90% of people painting out there are still using solvent-based paints, and the switch hasn't totally moved over to waterborne yet. They're pushing for it, but it really hasn't happened yet. The body shop still likes spraying with what I do here. I did something and I can't scroll down. Weird. Okay. Brooklyn in the house. Let's see. All right. All right. The whole thing just went like that for a second. 1 second. What brands of clear coat do you use with Rust-Oleum? You could use any brands, but the problem is you can't clear coat right over freshly painted Rust-Oleum because you'll have a chemical reaction. You got to let it dry for a couple of days. So you're gonna have to let it dry for a couple of days, then give it a light sand, and then clear it. Where can I send pictures of my finished car so you can check it out? Jose, are you a part of the Facebook group, the VIP Facebook group? If not, contact support. If you're a VIP member, they'll put you in the Facebook group. Then you could upload pictures and send me pictures there. How do you know when a car can be scuffed and buffed versus when it needs to be completely stripped? Scuffed and puffed. Does that mean scuffed and painted versus when it needs to be completely stripped? Well, when you look at the car, right, I mean, you could tell. I mean, I can tell. I mean, if the paint job is peeling and it looks really bad, that means you got to prime over it and paint it, okay? If you have a new car, okay, new car, the clear coat looks great. You could basically scuff the clear coat, and that's a perfect foundation for painting base coat clear coat right on top of that. You don't have to prime it. So if you have a brand new white car, you can scuff the clear coat with 400 grit, and you could paint base coat clear coat right on top of that. You don't have to seal it. You don't have to prime it. All right. The sparkle is supposed to be red. As I sanded, the metallic changed to like a silver color. The paint looks glossy, but the color does not. Well, you basically sanded the flake, I guess. So there's a red flake, and as you sanded it, the metallic changed to silver because you sanded the red off the flake. That's what you did. So I don't think you should have done that. You should have clear coated it, and then you should have had your enamel, and you should have put a coat of clear or 2 coats of clear on it, and then sanded and buffed the clear coat to give it an extra gloss. I've never had that issue. I've color sanded and buffed blue metallic, brown metallic, even red metallic single stage, and I've never had that problem. So I don't know, what kind of paint did you use? What brand was it? Maybe you sanded too much, Edwin. 36 grit. I don't know what you mean, Anthony Chaney. 36 grit. Was that what you're sanding with? That's freaking crazy. All the info is very helpful. Awesome. All right, so let's see. What is a good drip rail sealer to use on an Ecoline van that has wide drip rails? I forgot the name of it. There is a sealer that you could use, but it has to dry. I think this is it right here by 3M. It has to be paintable. I would use an epoxy. Okay, check this out. This is not a product that I'm selling or anything, but this is something that you can use by SEM. I remember using this once a long time ago and it worked. I haven't had to do a job like that recently, but check that out, buddy. That'll help you. If not, you could use a basic two-part epoxy, the same epoxies that I use for body kit molding when you're doing fiberglass to plastic, metal to plastic. And I show you what product that I use from 3M in the VIP course as well. Okay. Best compound to get scratches out of new paint. I would look into, I mean, Meguiar's is good, and 3M products are good. Magic compounds are really good as well. I have, at the shop, I have Meguiar's, and I have 3M. So, I mean, those are good compounds. You don't want to use a super coarse compound. You want to use like a medium compound on a foam pad. How would you recommend cleaning a car that is sanded with bare metal and Bondo? Showing I heard absorb. You could wash sanded Bondo. It'll dry. It won't absorb the water. I mean, it'll absorb water, but you got to let it dry at least overnight. So you could wash it down with Bondo spots showing, that's okay. But make sure the next day it's dry. I mean, it will be dry, so I wouldn't worry about it. You don't want to, if the Bondo looks wet, you don't want to paint over it. Make sure it's dry. Got my first project ready for primer. Going to start spraying tomorrow. Thanks for all the help and wish me luck. Good luck, Kentucky. Good luck, Jeffrey. How can a chrome plastic grill be painted? How? We just covered that. You could scuff it down with like 150 grit sandpaper and 2K prime it, and then sand that with 400 grit. Get it nice and smooth. Make sure all the scratches are filled out, right? Make sure it's nice and smooth and matte looking, and then you could paint that with base coat clear coat if you want to do like a glossy paint job. You could also, if you want to get a flat look, just get some Plasti Dip spray can, right, whatever color you want, and just put a matte Plasti Dip right over it, and that'll stick right to that. You don't even have to sand it. Just spray over your chrome grill or whatever part you're working on. You could do that. Raymond, so what is your question about waterborne paints then? Because a lot of the guys around here, a lot of people I know around here, they're not doing it. And I mean, even if you do, you could do Google searches and internet searches. Still, a lot of body shops are not using waterborne to this day. I mean, I speak to my paint supplier, and a lot of people are still using solvent-based paints. Hey, Tony, loving the learning process. Can't wait to try it on my dually. I'm disabled, so I can't afford much. Little by little, Rusty, little by little. All right, awesome. Any more questions? We're on about a half hour now. I am going to pretty much close it out. Usually, I like to keep these at 30 minutes or so. Hopefully, you guys liked it. If you guys liked the show so far, give me a quick thumbs up. Hopefully, you guys got some ideas and some golden nuggets. Let's see. How long does Rust-Oleum single stage last? It all depends. I mean, if you keep it in your garage for 30 years, it'll last 30 years. You know, if you're going to keep it under a tree out in 105-degree weather, and birds pooping all over it, and you're not taking care of it, it'll last you a year, right? It all depends on how well you take care of your paint job. So I'm home right now. Yeah, guys, if you haven't yet, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. That'll be great. When painting candy, silver base is better or gold? Silver base is the best, but if you're a total newbie and you're painting candies, it's better to paint your base coat the color of your candy. So if you're going to be spraying, I got like 8% on my computer left anyway. If you're going to be spraying a green lime candy and you're trying to get that green look, pick out a nice green base coat, okay, for your car, for your paint job, your custom job. And you could do a test panel, spray out card, whatever you want to do, and paint your green lime over the green base coat, okay? It's going to be more forgiving. And if you make a mistake and if you screw up, you're not going to have a really bad screw up, all right? Because you got to be a pro to paint over silver. If you're painting candies over silver, you got to be good. You got to know, you have to know your overlap. Okay, when you're doing that, it's not a 50. It's like more like a 75% overlap when you're spraying candy. Okay, and you want to go panel end to end, basically from one end to the car to the other end of the car. It's not recommended to do panel by panel because you have a chance of making it, your candy getting thicker on the edges, and you'll have a dark line. Okay, you can have tiger stripes, not even tiger stripes, but you can have dark areas. And I screwed up on candies many times in my younger days, and that's how I learned. I ended up learning. I started with silvers, and then I was like, man, this is crazy. So I ended up doing candies over the reds, red candy over red, green candy over green. And once you start getting the hang of it, then you could go purple candy equals what base coat. You could find out a nice purple base coat. So if you're looking to get that purple look, it'll only enhance your purple. So if you get a nice metallic purple, like a nice purple metallic base coat, and you spray a purple candy on top of that, it's gonna look freaking amazing. It will be darker, okay? It'll be a darker candy. So try to find a light purple base, okay? Because the candy will make it darker, but it will look freaking awesome. All right, and I want to do more on candies. I don't know if I'm going to do candy on the Daihatsu project truck. I'm down to 4% battery. Yeah. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the show. I want to say thank you. Next week, we'll go over to the shop, all right? I don't want to lose connection walking across the street right now and all of that. So for all you newbies on here, I want to give you a gift. Here is my free 85-page auto body and paint manual. You can go to the site right now and download that. My computer is saying low battery. Hopefully we're all good. Yes, you could put clear on single stage. Okay, guys, here's the link to the free auto body manual. Check your email because it will be delivered by email. You may want to check your spam folder as well. You're welcome, Max, because it may get hung up in there. And I also have a special offer where you could join VIP if you want to. So check out VIP, guys. A lot of VIP guys on here. I can't wait to see your projects. I can't wait to see what you're working on. We actually have a member, Randy. I don't know if Randy, are you on? Randy Arena. He sent me a testimonial, a video testimonial, literally yesterday. And a before and after in his Mercedes ML 430 that he just recently painted. If you guys are looking for awesome spray guns, basically $1,000 spray gun, check out these Adams. The Adams are amazing. I'm going to be doing our next projects using the Adams. So this is the Adams spray gun if you want to check them out. And I want to say thank you all for getting on. I'll see you guys on next week. Now that I'm back in town, oh my God, there's a family of raccoons walking across the street. They were under my deck this morning. A mom and like 5 babies were under my deck this morning. I walked out this morning like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was on my deck eating breakfast around 6:30, and I saw a bunch of raccoons, baby little raccoons. Like, it's just so cute. All right, Cruz, looking forward to next week. Awesome. Next week we will be in the shop. The shop is a little crowded right now. I got my trucks in there. I got to move some stuff around, and I'm also gonna finish up the BMW. I got to clean it, detail it. I'm gonna list it. I'm gonna sell the BMW because it's just sitting there. I'm not really doing nothing. If I could make $3-4 grand on it, that'll be awesome this summer. This way I could, move some cars around. And I got it for a pretty good deal. I think I could get $18,000 for it. So we'll see what happens. And we're going to be doing the Daihatsu mini truck project this summer. Within the next couple of months, that'll be a completely custom painted job. It'll be awesome. All right, guys. Thank you guys for getting on. It was great seeing you. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. Tomorrow's the last day of work. For most of you. And I'll see you on next week. All right, guys? Let me give you the link one more time to the free auto body and paint manual right over here. And I got like 2% of battery left. Later, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Hit the like button before you leave if you haven't. And let's see. Here is a link to VIP if you are interested in VIP. Later, Anthony. Later, Jose. You're welcome, Ziki. Have a good one, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys on next week. Peace out.